Good afternoon. My name is Susan, and we're here for another episode of Crafting at Home from Aaron Public Library. Today's project is a different kind of door hanger. This is a spring-summer door hanger, and we're going to be using a child shovel, some artificial flowers, and a little bit of ribbon, and we're going to go ahead and get started. My supplies today include 3 different branches of artificial flowers that I have trimmed, and I'll explain a little bit more later. A child shovel. This I just purchased at Dollar Tree. All I had to do was take the label off. This is a small butterfly embellishment we're going to add later. This I just kept from a floral display I got. This is about 12 or 14 inches of a lightweight floral ribbon. I have 3.5 feet of wired ribbon. I'm using a regular pair of scissors, and I do have a hot glue gun ready. I also have clear packing tape. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing that we have to do is we have to create the bouquet. Now these were 3 branches of flowers which I've already cut apart. They're going to be layered, so there is a very tall branch. I should say a tall grouping. Then there is a group that was cut at a mid-height, and then a group that was cut very short. Now on some of these, I did cut them so that the edges are all the same length, and on some of them I did take the leaves off ahead of time, because some of these artificial flowers come with several layers of leaves, and particularly for the ones that are going to be at the back of the bouquet, you're not going to see these leaves. And they kind of get in the way anyway, because this is quite a healthy bouquet when you're done. So if you want to just take the leaves off, you certainly can do that. You don't need them. You aren't going to see them anyway. So we're just going to take these leaves off, and we're going to start to layer the bouquet. I'm just going to move this over a little bit. So I'm going to take the tallest ones first. This is the back of the bouquet. They don't all have to be going in the same direction, because this is wired and we can move it later after it is attached to the shovel. So I'm going to lay those flat. Then I am going to take the next level. This is the one that was cut at the mid-height. And I'm going to put it on top, and what I am trying to do here is I'm trying to line up these stems, because the bouquet will just look better. You do get to see some of the stems. They look better if they're all at the same length. And again, if you decide the leaves are in the way, go ahead and take them off. Now I'm going to take the shortest bunch, and I am going to stack these and I'm going to put them on here. And let me hold this up for you. You can see I have 3 different layers of flowers based on the length that I cut the stems at. And of course, you can always trim these as you go along. If you decide you don't like them, if one is too long or too short. If it's too short, there's not much you can do, but if it's too long, you can do a little more trimming. Now, what I'm going to do is lay these flat on the table. I have a pair of needle nose pliers here. I'm just going to use these to hold this in place. And I'm going to cut off just a short piece of packing tape. Probably only need maybe 3 or 4 inches. I just need enough to hold the bouquet together before I attach it to the shovel. So I'm just going to do this. It's a little flat. It's not quite round. I'm going to place this on here. I'm not going to place it all the way at the end, because I do want that end set of stems to show, and I don't want to see the tape. So I'm going to actually put this tape right about here, because my ribbon, my bow, will take care of it. I'm going to pick this up, and I am going to fasten the tape around it just to hold them together until I can get them on the shovel. Now, this bouquet, if you look at this, and I'm going to turn it sideways, it's a little flat versus being a round bouquet. Again, because it will stay in better position on the shovel, and it kind of spreads out the amount of material that you have here. Now if you look at this and you go, well, I don't like where those yellow flowers are. Remember that these are wired stems, and after we're done, we can move them to whatever position we want to get a better effect and to branch them out. And of course the same is true of the white flowers and the purple flowers. So my next step is to attach this bouquet, if you will, to the shovel handle. Now you need to make a decision because it's going to hang, well, I think it's going to hang this way. Of course, you want to hang it the other way, you could. You could hang it that way as well if that's what you choose to do. I'm going to go with this. But your decision either way, whichever way you hang it, is how much of the shovel handle do you want to see? Because if you want to see a lot of this, you don't want to see any of this, you kind of need to make that decision. Because once I attach the bouquet, could you move it? Of course you can. Because we're just going to attach this with tape. So once again, if you want to change this in the fall and use fall flowers, maybe some fall colored leaves, we're just using tape here. This isn't going to be permanent, and you will have that option. I kind of like being able to see part of the shovel. I like to see the stem of the leaves. So what I'm going to do, I have my shovel flat. I'm just going to kind of hold that there with my needle nose pliers. And I'm going to cut a length of clear packing tape, probably maybe 10 inches. Now, I'm going to go back over the tape that's already there because, again, I want to leave that set of stems. Let me turn this around so you can see it. I want to leave that set of stems at the top so it looks natural, even though we all know it's artificial. Oops. Well, hang on. Okay. I'm going to put that there. I'm good with it. And I am just going to begin to tape this onto the handle. Now, if you want to do hot glue or staples or whatever you want to do, you are certainly welcome to do that. I did on my original one, and I know you can't see it, but on the display one that I showed you, I originally worked with green packing tape. I'm sorry, green painter's tape. And it worked just fine. I did have to cover up that green packing tape because you could see it. And that's why I use the style of bow that I've chosen. I tried the florist wire and everything just moved around too much. So I decided it was either going to have to be a tape or it was going to have to be hot glue. So this is where I am right now. My bouquet is taped. It's fixed to the shovel. I'm going to cover up that tape. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about where the stems are because we can adjust that later. Now, before I put the ribbon on here and before I tie the bow, I'm going to attach a very simple hook that will allow you to hang this up. So all I have, this is my 12 or 14 inch piece of light floral wire that I talked about. I'm just going to fold it in half. I like the floral wire because it's pliable. I can handle it, out of the way, I can handle it without needing any tools. Now what I'm going to do, I just want to show you this. Here's where the edge of my tape is on the bouquet. I am going to put this hook, I'm going to put it right there because then it will get covered up on the front side by the ribbon. So all I'm going to do, I have my doubled over floral ribbon. I'm going to start at the front. About halfway, I'm going to come around down towards the edge there, and I am just going to start twisting this so that it is tight to the handle. Now there are other, you could get a hook and attach it to the back. You could drill a hole on the top and hang it from there. So now I have it, I just twisted this, that's all I did. I have all this length left over. This is going to become my hook. So I'm going to take the ends and I'm going to twist them together. open this up a little so that you see I have created a hook here. You can make it smaller if it's too big in order to hold it tight to wherever you're going to hang it, but this will be fine for right now. So my next step is to create the bow, which is dual purposed. It's pretty, but it's also going to cover up all that tape. And it's also going to accentuate the fact that it is a bouquet and make it look like a bouquet. So this is 3.5 feet of wired ribbon. I love wired ribbon because it will do what you tell it to. Probably more than you need. My ends are frayed. I'll take care of that later. I'm going to fold it in half, just so I'm at the center. I'm starting on what will be the front side of this wall hanging or door hanger, and I am just going to take it and wrap it around once each way so I stay kind of even. And I am going around. I've now covered that wire hook in the back. So now I'm going to take that wire hook and I'm going to pull it like this, and I'm going to bring the ribbon over it this way. So I'm now above the wire. So the hook is kind of in the middle between layers of ribbon. I'm going to come to the front side. I think I'm going to go around again. I have enough ribbon here, I can do it, because I can still see tape. This is another example of why I like ribbon which has the same decoration on each side. I think I'm good. Because then as you're going to make a bow, which is where we're going here, you don't have to worry about having an undecorated side showing. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to tie a knot. Now if you look at this, you can still see a little bit of the tape, but that's okay because we haven't done the bow yet. So I'm just going to make a traditional bow. I usually start pretty small and then I enlarge it as I go along until I get a size that I want. And I know I'm working upside down, but I find that bows work better for me if I'm doing it upside down. So I need to look at that and see if that's what I like. I'll be honest, I can still see a little bit of the tape, but I'm okay with it. I like being able to see the stems. So this is where we are at this point, but I need to do something with this hanging ribbon. Now this is wired ribbon. I love wired ribbon because it will do what you want. So you can kind of scrunch it up. The edges are a little frayed, so I'm just going to recut them. That didn't work out very well, but I think it will. Well, I think I'm going to cut it again. I have seen people cut ribbon and then do a very quick job with a lighter or a candle to just burn that edge and finish it off. I'm more willing to have a long tail and then just trim it as I need it rather than deal with a candle or a lighter. So I'm just going to trim carefully. I like that. And then again, wired ribbon so you can put it where you want it to be. Now, I need to do a little fluffing here. And again, these are wired stems, so you have the ability to do that. And remember, sometimes fluffing means pulling it out, not necessarily pulling it to the side. All right, so I have one more element. I'd like to attach this butterfly. Now, he could go right up here. You can do that. But we've got all this lovely space down here with no decoration on it. So I'm thinking I'm just going to get some hot glue. It is a fairly large butterfly, so you want to find a place where it's going to sit. I like that. And I'm just going to put hot glue on the back of the butterfly and then attach it to the shovel. Now, as I said, this was just something that I saved from a floral bouquet that I got. Things like this are available at your craft supply stores. Generally, they come in packages of 1 or 2. But if you get a 2-pack, you just buy it and put it away because you never know when you're going to need it. Now, hot glue, I'm just going to hold it until it sets. Oh, very nice. There you go. A spring door hanger. All we used, a child's shovel, 3 branches of artificial flowers, a little bit of ribbon, and a little bit of hot glue. Enjoy.